Yo, remember when the Demon Slayer anime first came out and everybody was like, yo, Demon Slayer is probably one of the biggest hype beast animes to have ever come out in like a long ass fucking time, right? And I think it's a perfect example of what hype can do to an anime if you're not careful. Right? And so much of how the series was perceived and how it was received had a lot more to do with the fan base of Demon Slayer rather than Demon Slayer itself, if that makes sense. Man, it was getting so much like crazy attention. Maybe we should have just fucking called it Hype Slayer, because it was just that fucking hyped. It was just that fucking hyped. There was like a Crunchyroll Anime Awards, I think, where it cleaned house and took a bunch of fucking awards and prizes, and I think this is like one of the first like starting points where people really started to like not like Demon Slayer and stuff. Man, like it really got me thinking about the role hype plays in like media and how we perceive various forms of media, especially like since we're coming off the heels of something like Cyberpunk 2077, and you'll notice this shit happens all over the place, not just with like Demon Slayer. In video games, this happens all the time in the case of just series building up a reputation over the course of its run that becomes increasingly impossible to like follow up on. Like it's just impossible to please the people that play the games now. And the same is true for anime, only a lot of it's like word of mouth bullshit, right? To me, I just watched Demon Slayer and I went, this is a pretty fun shonen series. It was nice. It's not perfect, but I haven't watched a shonen that was pretty great in a good long while, and I enjoyed it because of that and for that reason. But people are just like, no man, this shit is trash. Like eventually you get to a point with hype where it almost like it's like a pendulum swinging to the opposite side, where the hype also generates a lot of hatred and a lot of hatred for people who are fans of whatever the thing is hype. In fact, you could argue that like people were more upset that other people like this thing a lot than they were upset about that thing, reaching or hitting the expectations of the person who's watching it. And expectations definitely play a huge role in all of this, right? The expectations of the viewer can really change how they come away from a series and what they perceive it as. Like take a series like Neon Genesis Evangelion, right? There are lots of people that think they're hot shit, that think their cock is massive and huge because they gave Evangelion like a 6 or a 7 or some crap instead of saying it was a masterpiece and stuff like that. So you're gonna get the hipsters who obviously are gonna want to hate on it just because it's cool to hate on it and whatever. And the important thing to understand with all of this is that media is subjective, is that people are going to watch something and come away feeling very differently based on how they like their anime, what they like watching, what they enjoy out of a piece of media. And one piece of media is never going to satisfy and please every single viewer. And I guess part of that is like from the mob's perspective, it's that feeling that because a bunch of other people like this thing, that they almost feel pressured into liking it or having to say positive things about it because of how hyped it is and because of how everybody seems to enjoy it and they kind of feel left out and all that shit. It's a very interesting dynamic, and I personally think it's bad for anime in general, just because you get to a point where anime that would just be like, whatever, this was a fun experience. Now they become like the fucking bane of all existence, the worst thing fucking ever, because, people overhype the shit out of it or whatever. Or, an anime that some people might enjoy, they may end up hating now because of all the intense hype and all the over exaggerations in terms of like its quality. And I think as people, we need to start disregarding hype from now on and really try and go and observe a series from our own perspective and from what we like in a series, instead of like taking everybody else's word for it, instead of getting too focused and too fixated on what everybody else thinks. Focus more on yourself and your own opinion, you know, that kind of shit. But yeah, you know the best thing about fucking Demon Slayer, the best thing we got out of freaking Demon Slayer, the freaking silver lining, the live action Demon Slayer pornography. Nezuko, I figured out a way to turn you back into a human. Giggity. You know, shit like that. Oh my god. Japan never changed. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to make a quick video because I'm working on being more consistent. No, this time, no lies, no bullshit. This is 2021. This is a new Jade. Man, you know, we're going for the moon. Yeah, so expect more videos every Tuesday, I guess. Of varying qualities, because I'm a busy boy. So I'll see you next time. Isekai Defense Force Commander Jade, out.